We're going to make chili this afternoon. I use 1 pound of ground beef, an onion and a bell pepper, and you brown that in a little hot fat. And then, this is a very complicated recipe. You add 16-ounce cans of kidney beans, drained. You can save the bean liquid in case you need to add more liquid later. A can of tomatoes, 8 ounces of tomato sauce, and let's see, 1.5 tablespoons of chili powder, and I hope I have that much. Looks like we're going to make it. 1 bay leaf. And 1.5 teaspoons of salt. And I add a can of little green chilies. That isn't in the recipe, but I always put it in there anyway. And let's see, I'll check. Tomatoes, some tomato sauce, chili powder, done. So I'll stir it up. If I can find a spoon. And then we simmer this for an hour and a half. And if you need more liquid as it cooks, you can add some water or that reserved bean liquid. So this is an easy one. That's it. It's ready to simmer. Hi, this is called Janet's Chicken and Wine, but I have never used wine with it. You use 1 can of undiluted mushroom soup. You can use a can of onion soup, undiluted also, but I use this dry Lipton onion soup. And then the wine, I've never made it with the wine. I add more mushrooms and the juice from the mushrooms. And then you stir that up and you pour it over the chicken breasts. Guess we about got it stirred up good enough. And they cover this when they bake it, and they bake it for 2.5 hours. I cover it too, but then I get in there every now and then and pour more, spoon this stuff back over it again. And usually I serve this with white rice, because this little gravy stuff that's on it goes really nicely with that. And we bake it in the oven for 2.5 hours at 300 degrees. There we go. Okay, we're going to make some deviled eggs. I boil the eggs and you mash the yolk. Add some mayo. Some mustard. If I can get that open.
Mimi.
Thanks a lot, smarty. And so I'm not going to cook with you anymore. Salt. And pepper, and then we mush it all up. I want to get past those things here. I want this to be a little bit creamy, so I have to add more mayo. Okay, now we're ready to start filling it. Stephanie does this with a cake decorating thing, I think. But I have to do it the old-fashioned way. And after you get them all filled, sprinkle a little paprika on the top so it looks pretty. And then I put them in my pretty Christmas egg holder. There, isn't that nice? Okay, we're gonna make beef and burgundy, which is a family favorite. And this recipe takes 2.5 pounds of beef round steak. It cuts only about 1/4 of an inch thick. And first off, you cut the steak into bite-sized cubes and shake with 1/4 cup of flour, and you use all that flour, and then you brown it in 4 tablespoons of butter, which I have already done. And now it is time to add, a 1/2 cup of onion, a tablespoon of finely snipped parsley, which mine is dried, but sometimes I use the other kind, the green kind, that's not coming out good. Okay, a tablespoon of parsley. Have to check on the garlic. One large garlic, and I use minced too. And I think it's just 1 bay leaf, but I better be sure. Yes, 1 large bay leaf. And a can of mushrooms, which some people pick out. Trent and Delaney do not like mushrooms. And then we add a cup of burgundy. And 3/4 cup of water. Stir it all up good. Now I've stirred in everything in there, and we heat it to boiling, and then we reduce the heat and simmer covered about 1 hour until the meat is tender. Take it off. Serve it over these big thick egg noodles. That's good, but you can also use rice if you want to. And it's nice with a salad and some French bread. We're going to make lasagna today, and it's a recipe from Carla. But Mom wrote it. All right. We need 2 pounds of meat, 2 cans of whole tomatoes, 3 cans of tomato sauce, 2 cans of tomato paste, and most of those cans were smaller than some of these you see nowadays. They were like 6 ounces, 8 ounces, 14. 3 containers of cottage cheese, that's the 1 pint size. 1 can or bottle of Parmesan cheese, 2 packages of lasagna noodles, and a chunk or slices of mozzarella cheese. Okay, now this is what we do first. We start with a layer of noodles. I think I cooked way more noodles than we needed, because I think those boxes are bigger than they used to be too. Alright, we have a layer of noodles. Now we need a layer of sauce on top of this. And that sauce I had boiled for 45 minutes. So it's ready to go. See it? Oops, I'm making a mess. This sauce, besides the hamburger that we browned, it also had, let me tell you what it had in it. Well, when you're browning the meat, you brown it in olive oil, you add oregano, garlic, onion powder, salt, and pepper. And then you add the tomatoes and the tomato paste and that stuff. All right, we've got a layer of meat there. Now we're going to put another layer of noodles on, I believe. Okay. And now's the part Jim would love. This mixture is cottage cheese, which Jim hates. And I think that they used ricotta or something because he doesn't like cottage cheese. But in with this cottage cheese there are 2 eggs, a half a cup of Parmesan cheese, and salt and pepper, and it's all mixed together. And now I pour all of that on top of this. Don't you like the looks of that, Jim? Yum, yum. Okay, now we put on a layer of the mozzarella cheese. Got a little warm, it's all sticking together. All right, after the mozzarella cheese, we put some more noodles. No. No. Now another layer of sauce. No. What's she saying here? Now we'll add some more sauce. It's smelling good. Okay, now we'll put on another layer of noodles. And the rest of the sauce. Boy, that made a lot of sauce too. Now lasagna can also be frozen, and that turns out really good too, if you want to freeze it and then bake it later. But when you do, if we were going to bake it right now, we would have our oven preheated to 375 and we would cook it for 25 minutes. Now we put another layer of Parmesan cheese on top, I believe. Yes. Okay, 375 degrees for 25 minutes, and yum yum, or you can freeze it. Okay, we're going to make peanut blossoms, and we first had these like 57 years ago when we lived upstairs in Skip and Paul's house in Bangor, Maine, and our next door neighbor Alice made them to take to school. And I thought they were the cutest cookies I'd ever seen. And now, look at here, it's still on the package after all those years. So I've mixed all the dough. And I guess if you want the recipe, you can buy the package of Hershey Kisses and get it, huh? I've already mixed everything together, and you just put all the ingredients in the bowl and mix it up. Okay. There is 1 3/4 cups of Pillsbury's Best regular flour, 1 teaspoon soda, 1/2 teaspoon salt, 1/2 cup sugar, 1/2 cup firmly packed brown sugar, 1/2 cup shortening, 1/2 cup peanut butter, 1 egg, 2 tablespoons milk, 1 teaspoon vanilla extract, and 48 milk chocolate candy kisses. You preheat the oven to 375. Combine all the ingredients except candy in a large mixer bowl. Mix on lowest speed of mixer until dough forms. Then you shape the dough into balls like about a rounded teaspoonful. You don't want to get them too big. And then you're going to roll them in sugar. these would be a good thing that little kids could really help you with, because they could unwrap the Hershey Kisses and they could help make the balls, and I bet they'd like that. We're rolling some peanut blossom balls in the sugar. That one doesn't want to roll. Okay, because I have to get more, John. You can. They're ready to go in our 375 oven, and they will bake for 10 minutes.
Are those elf shoes?
No, those are my slippers. I think they need another minute. I'll take them out. And while these are still warm is when you put the Hershey Kiss on them. Christopher will think these are a little too big, because he likes a little bit of cookie around it.
Okay,